Great piece, great piece, great piece. Yakoki. All right, so let's look at this real quick. All right. This is Detroit right here. And this right here at the bottom is Windsor. You can see here, you're not seeing dots pop up in Windsor and you're seeing dots pop up in Detroit. That's because they're under two federal governments. They're under two federal governments. Windsor, Canada, Detroit, United States. Separate jurisdictions, separate codes, separate laws, separate policy. Now, speaking on policy, right? Speaking on policy. Now, when you look at this map, right, you see right here near Coleman A. Young International Airport in Detroit. All right. When you see this, right, and you see like all these dots popping up, this is what you got to take notice of. Coleman A. Young is a former politician of Detroit. He has surviving families, surviving families. His son is right now, his son right now is on the city council report. This is what you got to notice, right? Whenever you have a call in or someone is, maybe they're having a mental breakdown, maybe they got assaulted. Like I'm looking at some of these dots, I'm seeing shootings, I'm seeing killings, I'm seeing people masturbating in public. I'm seeing young women being missing. I'm seeing all of this, right? I'm seeing it, right? And the police, right, they're on the calls. So you can type on one of the dots and, like this one right here, for example, this right here at the in the center right here. You can tap on this, right? This red locator mark. You tap on it, you can listen to the audio of the police receiving basically an ID of what's happening in the area. So when you see the police say, oh, there's been a shooting here, there's been a shooting there, they have to go back to city council and write a report after, their duty is up, right? Now, Coleman A. Young, his son, right? His son who's on the city council, right? He's going to do basically a call in, right? He's going to talk to the media or whatnot. He's going to talk to him, right? Now, he's going to go back to the insurance office and say, hey, this happened right here. This happened right here near the airport. This happened right here. I have our name is trademarked, it's copyrighted. Our charters, they're copyrighted or whatnot. That's going to happen, right? Now, this is also what you're going to see. This is also what you're going to see, right? He's going to get a check in 3 to 5 business days, right? And he's going to reinvest a portion of that money into the policy. So he just got, $5 million paid off, right? They sent them $5 million because, there's residents in an area who are being hospitalized. They're being detained. They're being jailed. Criminals like informants, snitches, they're being released from prison. They're being put under custody as far as regular routine meetups with the precinct to describe what's happening in that area with the people who are in that area, right? Say if you are peddling drugs, you're peddling guns or whatever, right? That's what happens in these communities. Teenagers are being sold weapons, a lot of gun trafficking, right? Now, when you see this, right, he's going to get policy kickbacks, $5 million, $10 million, whatever damage occurred in the area in which he's sitting over in the district. He's going to get paid for that. And a lot of the residents don't know that when they get hospitalized or something like that and they don't have health insurance or they don't have life insurance or they don't have business insurance and they don't file a claim, they're not going to get paid. And ultimately, they're not going to be able to get out of those communities. When you look at insurance, that's basically in a form, it's called repair. When you look at insurance, that's repair. You file a claim or something like that for uh, being arrested or being assaulted or being hospitalized, whatever it may be, you file a claim, that business is supposed to expedite your claim, like they do for judges, like they do for policemen, like they do for medical accountants. They're supposed to expedite. When you hear a gunshot in your area, that's supposed to be a warning. FEMA is supposed to come and deploy supplies and also supposed to supply aid to get people up out of that community. Now, you're not seeing this right now. What you're seeing is that more officers are being hired, more of them are on patrol, and more of them are violating the residents' human rights. So when a teenager gets gunned down for running from the police or the community is going to feel on edge. They're not going to go outside and walk around everywhere. You know what I mean? They're looking for the next opportunity to get out of the area that they're in while also selling off their investments or possibly safeguarding their investments, because, you always got an insurance agent somewhere, to get out of this mess. You see what I mean? This whole area is dangerous. All right? You can just go outside and walk around, and next thing you know, police are behind you, or it's going to be some people who are released from prison, right? Who are informants. They're either going to bother you, or they're going to assault you, or it's going to be something that's going to allow them to report back to the precinct, maybe get arrested, right? And, for whatever they do, right? And, the chief, right? I think the police chief of Detroit is Chief Bettison, right? He's going to come out and speak about the incident. All right. So if, the informant does what he has to do, right, what ends up happening? That informant, he ends up getting in protective custody, He ends up getting out of jail in 20 years, 40 years, This stuff happens over and over, So when immigrants come here, right, you got to look at this way. When immigrants come here, whoever they may be from France, they may be from Germany, they may be from Netherlands, wherever it may be, right? It can be a distant country like, Nigeria, because again, a report just came out. When students leave places like Nigeria to accept student visas, they never end up going back to their countries. They always stay in the place that they went to. And the embassy, in regards, right, they sort of protect them. This is why you can never get through on an embassy call. You can never talk to someone on a live call, or you can never talk to the person who's directing whatever is being taken place at their bases, as whatever is being taken place at those bases. So this is what I'm saying right here. Okay, you see all of this, right? You see all of this. This is a national disaster. If you listen to some of these calls, these IDs, and you listen to some of the problems that's happening in some of these areas, like you just read some of these dots, right? Say assault, family, domestic issue. Like I read in one of the reports, someone was having problems with unconsciousness. They found a person unconscious. All right. So all these organizations that's involved in mental health checkups, because I heard a police commissioner say this today. His name was Willie. I think his name was Willie Burden. He's a commissioner and he's running for city council. He said that, a lot of these people, right, they need mental health checkups, and he's doing whatever he can to do that, right? So you also saw Rashida Tlaib and Shari Thanadar come out and say they're supporting Poison Pill, but just 5 months ago they said they wasn't supporting it. All right. So you look at this, right, and you say Donald Trump, he just rolled out the big beautiful bill. He said he's going to defund health care and put money back into the pockets of the middle class, the lower class and poor class. He's going to put money back into their pockets. But this is what he's not telling you. Money is being made every day from injuries. And the people who are being injured don't know anything about insurance and how they get policies turned into checks so they can ultimately leave these communities and build a better community for themselves and their family. The police is not telling them. The politicians are not telling them. And intermediates, right? The organizations on the international level and state level and local level, they're not telling them. All right. So go on, your crime map and just look at what's happening in your community. You're going to see stuff that's going to surprise you. All right. Just seeing this, right? Like, I want to get my family up out of Detroit. That city, it's not a safe place to be. All right. Just look at this, right? This is Frazier. Look at all these calls. Clinton Township. This stuff is ridiculous, man. Like, it's even stuff happening out in the boondocks. America is in a national crisis. All right? Is in a national crisis. Great peace, Yako.